The game also has released the new FAQ about Age of Sigmar 4th edition Skaventide the 27 August 2025. These are a lot of different documents. We can start with the voice call for the Overlords tribes trapper and the one for the Sunblood pack for the Seraphon that are quite interesting if you are interested about. There are also the rules update that we see later, that here there will be quite a lot of little changes but important ones, and moreover the facts about the previous month that has been released for the Battletome of the Blades of Khorne and the Karadron Overlord that are included and updated. But with this, we can find the facts that I'm most interested about, and are about the FleshEater Kurz and the Nighthaunt, because the 30 August 2025 there will be the list about their Battletome. So here it's an anticipation, and we see about the profiles, so the points about them. There will be the part about the spearhead that is available, and they are free, so remember that you have the regiment renown of the FleshEater Kurz, so it's really quite interesting. And another thing that it's important, it's about, okay, the Legion Companion, but also the Battletome supplement of the Nighthaunt that we see right after, because here we see that has been going to be removed some unit. We've seen something like this with the Soulblight Gravelords, and here it's almost the same. So we see what it's happened. So let's start to see about these changes, remembering that I'll talk only about the things that has been changed. If you're interested about the previous ones, you can find the link in the description about the previous video of the facts. And I'll go to analyze also the battle profiles for the FleshEater Kurz and the Nighthaunt because I'm interested about it. So, okay. So, let's start. So let's start with the Battletome supplement of the Nighthaunt. And here we can find that some unit will be put out from the Battletome from the 1st June 2026. And are some of the main ones, because we had the Khorne, and here it's a bit of pity because it's a historical one. And moreover, that Town Banshee, that it's one of my favorite models about the Nighthaunt. It will be really quite crazy. I'm really thinking about still playing it till I can, because it's a model that I always loved. You know that I made also videos late about, so I'm really quite crying cause it. And also the Glaive Stalkers. This is strange because these models are technically really quite new. Okay, there's been list with the Soul Wars, but they were a classical, so it's a bit strange. Maybe they're not sold enough, or maybe okay, strange, but they're going out. About this, I'm not so, I can say, crying or so on, but it's a bit strange. Still, the ones that I'm most perplexed and really sorry about are the Tomb Banshee, because I love this one. I know that there are the Mirmoon Banshees available, so it's not something that, okay, it disappear, you can reuse those models. Still, a bit of pity, but we had to take note, because it will happen. Anyway, we can still play with them. And now let's start to see about the battle profiles. I'll start with the ones related about the Nighthaunt. Remember that this document for now are outside. The one about the battle profiles from the next month, they will be put inside, so they will be all updated eventually. And here we can find about the new units, the ones that is going to be dismissed, and the updated points. So we can find that the Khorne is the same as amount, but will be put out quite soon, a bit OPT. As you can see, it will be moved in Warhammer Legend the 1st June 2026. And we can find that the next shroud has a decreasing point. I find it really quite good. I quite appreciate. There is the new model that is Lord Vitriolic, that it's not so expensive if you compare about the part about the points of the heroes. Okay, sincerely nice. I can't say that I'm really quite inclined to play with it, but it's an option because it's really a cheap model. Then we can see about the scriptor motifs that see an increase on point. Here I can say that maybe too much, maybe a little less increase, but okay, understandable. The spirit torment see a decrease on point, that it's always welcome, because when you spend less, much better. My Banshee, okay. Then we had the part about the Scourge of Giran Kurdos Valentian that see an increase on point. Before it was the same amount that the normal one. Now it's 10 point more. Okay, I think that it's maybe better the Scourge of Giran, so understandable. Then we had the Black Coach that see a decrease on point, and I can understand. Okay. About the Blackest Revenant, that see an increase of point, a bit too much, 30 point in my opinion, but okay. The Chain Rasp, a bit increase, I can understand, okay, this technically should be understandable. The Dreadbray Arrows, 10 point less, here maybe another 10 point will be better, okay. Then we had the Treshite Haridans, here in my opinion that costs too much, okay, but we'll see, because eventually they'll change again. In my opinion, even 200 points are too much for these models. The Gingast Reapers, a total increase on point, and in my opinion, are a bit really too much. They can have quite a good combination, but not so much. And about the Moon Banshees, okay, nice. The increase on point also will come. About the Pariglist, okay, nice. Sincerely, they are quite good. I can think that it's sweet, 10 points can be okay more. About the Spirit Host, nice, 10 points less, it's much welcome. And about the Scourge of Giran Black Coach, 20 point more. And really, 300 point with the Giran 1 against the Black Coach that it's 230. Sincerely, okay, the Giran 1, in my opinion, it's much better, but not so better to justify these 70 point of different. Okay, a bit too much. So you have to pay attention which one you want to play. Still, as you can see, there is quite an interesting part. Then we can see about the part of the points for the eventually the artifacts, the heroic traits, and so on. We can find that the battle formation Quicksilver Geist, it's 40 point. Okay, it's one of the best, but maybe not so much, or at least diminish the Blegeist, not so much about them. Then another thing is about the Artifact of Power Black Shot of Harness Moon. Okay, I think that it could be nice. And the Heroic Ruler of the Spectral Host, I can say that is justified. Maybe 10 points would be better, but okay. And then we can see that we have the part about the regiments. So we have the Crown Throne Executioner, 300 points, that I think that it's a saving, because if you compare, you can save quite a bit, and not bad. And the Casket of Resurrection, that is the Black Coach, that sincerely it's better, because if you think about putting this in another armies, you spend much less than having it in the army of the Nighthaunt. So, okay, understandable. Here, eventually, you could try to play, because it will be quite intriguing, in my opinion. Remember that you can't use, it will be also a fuck eventually, but you can't use the version of Giran with the part of the regiment Renown, only with the army of Renown. Remember about this difference, because the Black Coach in the Giran version will be quite amazing, otherwise to this amount of points. So pay attention about this difference. So let's start to see about the FleshEater Kurz. Now let's see about the FleshEater Kurz battle profiles, and we start with the Abhorrent Archagent, that is 20 point less. Since here other 10 point could be decreased, okay, 150 will be perfect. The Abhorrent Cardinal, a little adjustment about the regiment options. The Abhorrent Gold King on Terrorghast and Zombie Dragon, 30 and 40 point more. I think that too much. Okay, they improved quite a lot, but still too much. Still, I think that it will be as usual, so going up in point and then slowly going down and decrease. Then the Abhorrent Gore Warden, 40 point more, a bit too much. I think 20 point will be okay, but 40 it's too much. The Crypt Infernal Courtier, 20 point more. Again, 10 point would be perfect more. Here, I can understand that improved really quite a lot, but too much. The Ike Falconer Felgris 120 point. Here I have to play with it to understand if it's worth or not. It's the new model with this FleshEater Kurz, but okay, nice. It's one of the cheapest one of the heroes, so nice. Then we have the Marvel Skull Herald, that is 20 point less. Nice, amazing. Nagash, 10 point less. Since I don't play with it, so I don't care, but okay. The Royal Decapitator here is 20 point more, a bit too much maybe, but it's still the cheapest of all the heroes. And with the removal of the Crypt Scar Courtier, here we have something that is really quite worth, and it's something that you have to consider at least to play one of these, even two. Okay, it's quite nice. Ushoran, 10 point less. Here you have to remember that Ushoran, it will be really a centerpiece of your army of the FleshEater Kurz with the new delusions. So think really about this model, and you can understand that cheapest it is, better it is. Okay. Then we can find the Abhorrent Gore Warden, the Scourgeogian, that has seen a little adjustment about the regiment option. Okay. Crypt Flyers, also these ones in increase. I can understand because they improved quite a lot, but they will be quite expensive to also be forced. So to see. Anyway, in combination with the Courtier, can be really quite heavy as unit, so I can understand eventually. The Cryptoros, 20 point more, too much. Sincerely, 150 point will be okay. 160, it's too much. The Cryptoros, too modest, 100 point. I can understand it's not so much, but still you have to think about eventually, because here you have to understand that it's almost convenient more the Cryptoros of 2 modest than the ones of 3. Okay, we see. Then about the Royal Terrorguest and the Zombie Dragons, 10 point more each. Here, understandable, okay. I think that there will be decreasing too, but these 2 models are amazing, really, with a lot of amazing combinations. So, understandable, I still play with them. And then had the Vargulf Courtier that it's 10 point less. Okay, good, can be used. And then had the part about the Artificial Power Channel Investment, 20 point more. Okay, maybe understandable. Instead, Quetex Master free. Okay, now something that we don't have to pay for the heroic trait, so understandable. Also because it was not so great, well, so nice. And then had the part about the things related about the Regiment of Renown. Here we have that the Royal Terrorguest is 230 points. So for once, we can see that it's the same as the normal. Usually you save. This time instead it's the same. Okay. And then we have the Scarlet Jury that it's 300 points and sincerely nice. Okay, perfectly playable as option. So here you can say quite a lot. I think that it's really quite balanced. Maybe too much increasing a lot of unit, but it's something that we see an adjustment quite soon, so not a problem. And now let's see about the rules updates. Remember that I treat only about the new facts, not about the previous ones. So if you're interested about those ones, see the link in the description. The first one that we see, it's really quite important. Here, go to substitute one that we see later and adjust others that has been sparse. So it's really quite interesting because it's more omni-comprehensive. It's really quite nice. So terrain control, change the text to some battle plans require you to gain control of terrain features. Terrain features are contested and controlled in the same way as objectives, but terrain features do not remain in your control if your unit are no longer contesting them. For the purposes of determining objective control and terrain feature control, each unit can contest one objective and one terrain feature at the same time. Design a note for purposes other than determining the terrain feature control, a unit can contest more than one terrain feature. So it's really quite nice, it's precise and solve a lot of problems. So a lot less writing around and I quite like. Chorus remain exactly the same for the facts. So as you can see, there's not been quite a lot of changes. So you have to pay attention about certain things. Then we can see about the facts for the advanced rules. The first thing, it's about the terrain wholly and behind the terrain. This has been removed because there has been one that has been updated in the General Handbook 2526.1, the previous one. So this it's a bit repetitive. Also the ones about the part of the manifestation, there's been the part about explaining how they work. So it's used to have the same facts in different sessions. So simply they removed these ones. Okay. And then we can find other things that has been, for example, also here, the one that it's about the manifestation removed again, because we had the one that talk and it's generic about the part. The part about the magic here, it's been updated. Before it was yes, but specific one. Here it's more general, so that you can understand better about this. So we know that we can only use what we have. Also because that one was only for Path to Glory, so it's useless in general talking and it's better eventually to add later in Path to Glory 1. Then the part about here, the Wizard and the Priest, it's been removed because sincerely there's been also this one in the General Handbook 2526, so it's useless to repeat also here. And again about the manifestation, because there is the part that explains it better. So Also about the part here, the battle tactic, how to complete it. It's referred about contest the objects and so on. So we have the previous one that we've seen, so it's completer in that way. Really a bit also cleaning. I quite like. Moreover, I like that they remove and you can see what they remove. It's not that they disappear and you have to compare what has been changed. You know that has been taken off. Okay, I quite like in this way. So this. Then we can find about other things that are exactly the same. You have really to scroll a lot to find some changes again. And I quite like because it means that it's more stable. Then we have the General Handbook 24-25 that obviously it's stable, and the General Handbook 25-26. As I said, the most part of these are here, the manifestation, the magic, and so on. So it's not something that it's problematic about. Here we have some adjustment about the bottom path of the fee. Okay, you have to simply adjust the part and it's better. It's a bit of rephrasing to understand better that part. We have also the part about the grasp of turn as battlefield. So okay, it means that the object cannot be moved while there are engaged models contesting it. I think that it's okay. Otherwise, you remove the objective while there are things on it. It will be a problematic, but quite intriguing as additional part. Again, about the other battle plans, so rolling routes, the battle tactic card, intercept and recover, there are all things that it's about explaining how they work. It's really something that it's better understandable. So it's not really something that okay, they change completely or so on. It's a way to avoid any misunderstanding. So I quite appreciate such things. Here you can see another thing that has been deleted. Okay, deleted because that's been released, the Battletome, the new Battletome. So this was before, it's useless. But we see that there is a new session about this same document about the facts for the new Battletome of the Blades of Khorne. And the same we can see about the current Overlord later. So because there are the two Battletome that has been updated last time. So okay, as you can see, also here has been removed because this has not been any more valid because the referring is different. So it's really quite interesting in this way because it's much more ordered. You can really have better understanding of what has been changed and so on. I really quite appreciate about these things. As you can see, the most part are exactly the same. So okay, after here we had the part about the faction packs, and here we can see something that again remain the same. Other digital downloads, here you have to see if it's something that you are interested about, because otherwise you can see there are a lot of things that remain the same. For example, the Skaven, I see understand about a change about the heroic traits, but only if you are the Skaven you're interested about, so you have to see. And then we have something that it's about the Scourge of Giran. As I said before, you have to remember that the Scourge of Giran units in an army of renown instead of their own standard version can be used, but you can't use them in the regiment of renown, the Scourge of Giran. So you have to pay attention about this distinguish because it's really quite important and you have really to take in mind, because with army of renown you have the free to choose which one of the version. Remember that once that you choose them, you have to keep them for all the army. Instead, in the sense that if you take a unit that is Scourge of Giran, all those units will be Scourge of Giran. But it's really quite nice. And Regiment Renown, it's okay, because otherwise it means that you pay even less for something that is specific. So, okay, understandable. Also something for the Sons of Behemoth, eventually, if you're interested about. And I have the part about the Blades of Khorne. I don't like to see right after that has been listed a Battletome to see the facts. But the most part of this, anyway, little adjustment of timing of or little, I can say, rephrasing. Still, not the best when it happened like this. But at least it's not too much. It's not complete game changer as we see for other games of Game Workshop. Warhammer 40k, yes, I'm talking about you. And then we have that the same, okay. I don't know deepkin, okay, some facts. Remember that has been listed the Battletome quite later, so not a problem. Also here there are something little change, little adjustment about the things, so it's okay, some adjustment. Even again also for the current Overlord. I don't like when it is in such a way, but as you can see here often, for example, for the Pioneer outpost, it's little adjustment, for example, from the Karadron Overlord infantry to non-hero Karadron Overlord infantry. So little adjustment about keywords or rephrasing, so understandable for some things about this, even if it should not, but okay, understandable. There are minor things in my opinion about. As you can see, the mass part is exactly the same, so there has not been quite a lot of changes. And technically we are almost full because we have only something related about the Ravage cost here for the facts that I don't play, so okay. Still, it's something that it's really quite interesting. Remember that the next month we'll see the ones related about the FleshEater course and the Nighthaunt, but I quite like, because this time there's been the facts that make you see that there's been a sort of cleansing. They make them things more clear and remove the ones that were unclear, and they made that really you can have without any problem fun, because you can read without having going crazy to verify and make cross controlling and so on. I love how the facts about Age of Sigmar are done, and they're really quite simple, and I like. What do you like about such facts? Do you prefer something else? Were you waiting for some other facts? I'm quite curious to know about your option, because write in the comment if you think different or you want to add something to such a review. Anyway, from deynonmod it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So I hope to see you again to the next time.